the spotlight so that I can see everybody. All right. So remove spotlight. Okay, I can see
For your
everyone
view,
at
you
once
remove
now.
the spotlight. For others, let it be.
Maybe everyone can go and just pin me in that case.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if I change, since I'm the host, it might change for everyone. All right. Uh, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so today we will do a short recap of Pratipaksh Bhavna that you all have done, and then we will start on with the topic of Anitya Bhavna. Yes. Do you all remember what Pratipaksh Bhavna is? Anybody? You can raise your hand. Please raise your hand. I will recognize you, and then please unmute after that. Otherwise, there'll be chaos. Anybody? What is Pratipaksh Bhavna? Okay. Amrita ji, go ahead.
Yeah, think always opposite. Like if you're getting angry on somebody, then just think opposite of it and let it go.
Yeah. Opposite. Opposite is the keyword here. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Vitarka Badhane Pratipaksh Bhavna. Okay. Vitarka Himsadaya Krita Karita Anumodita Lobha Krodha Moha Purvaka Mrudu Madhya Adhimatra Dukha Ajnana Anantafala iti Pratipaksha Bhavana. What does it mean? Any particular bad thought or action. Yes? Yes. Now, it is basically done, correct? An action has to be done. Yes. It is done because of a reason. Yes. And last one, how is it done? In which manner? Yes, intensity. So it can be done by self, it can be done via someone, or it is also accountable. You are also accountable when you see something happening and you don't stop it. Yes. If you see a thief, that thief is committing a crime. Yes. Took a purse and he's running. Okay. Action is done. Yes. Now, did you tell the thief? That's one scenario. You tell the thief, take this purse and run. Second, you do it yourself. You take the purse and run. Third, you're seeing someone do it, but you're not doing anything about it, right? So an action can be in three different ways. Now, why do you commit that action? Lobha, krodha, moha. Greed, anger, delusion. Yes. And in what intensity? Yes. Mrudu, madhya, adhimatra. It can be low intensity, medium, or high intensity. Maybe stealing for you may be very small, but for someone else, it may be very big. Or even a crime, not stealing, but maybe injuring someone, right? So there are different things. And here we're talking about extreme, but this can also be something as simple as saying something hurtful to someone, right? Right? So all of this leads to ananta dukha, ajnana, ananta phala, right? Infinite pain, infinite avidya, yes, infinite bondage circle. It keeps you in the loop. You cannot escape it. Yes. Now, when you have very bad feeling against someone, does that mean if someone has come and said something very hurtful, so in your head, do you think, okay, no, I will love this person. This person is my best friend. Is it possible? Right? You can't get such feelings. Pratipaksh Bhavna is telling you to go in the opposite direction. So it does not mean go to love. From this extreme, try and come to the center. So start going in the opposite direction. It does not mean you have to jump to the extreme other end. Yes, go in the opposite direction. Pratipaksha Bhavna. Think of opposite. If you if you're thinking of hatred, at least come to neutral. Yes, it's still in the opposite direction, isn't it? Right? Yes, so that in true sense is Pratipaksha Bhavana. Yes, any questions? You all have already done this, so I'm just revising it. Okay, let's move on to Anitya Bhavna. Everybody, please bring a pen and paper if you don't have it already. This is a very short and small topic. It won't take too long, but it's a fun activity. Okay, can everyone see outside the window at this point? Do you see any cloud? Unless you're in Bombay and Delhi and there's pollution and you can't. In that case, uh,
No.
okay, no problem. Whoever can see a cloud, please draw the cloud. Okay. Now, in the meantime, let's take up another activity, which I'm sure everyone will be able to do. Okay. Now, I need you to think of two instances. One from your childhood. Okay. Any instance where you were so worried, so tense, or you were so angry, or you were so upset. Okay. Very, very upset. Anything from your childhood. Just write that incident down, and one from any recent in the last 5 years if something has happened. Write it down in one word, one sentence. Second, I need you to write for that same incident how many days it lasted. Okay, for instance, were you worried for 5 hours? Were you worried for 5 days, 5 weeks? What was it? Just write that down. Let's do these two things. One incident from your childhood, one incident in the last 5 years, anything that has happened. Under it, write down in bracket how long it lasted. And under it, write down what exactly you felt. At that point, what did you feel? It could be a feeling of helplessness. It could be a feeling of anger, frustration, sadness. Once you're done, just wave out so I know you're done. Okay. Okay. Now, those who saw the cloud and drew the cloud, can you look at the cloud again? In case you were able to see earlier, and if you drew a cloud, just see if you can see that same cloud. Okay, everybody. Let's put the pen and paper down. Let's come back to class. How many of y'all drew the cloud? Did you see a cloud? Did you draw it? Did anyone draw any cloud? Yes, Sneha's iPad. Sneha ji, you drew a cloud. Was it the same after the 2 minutes? The cloud?
It was a little brighter.
Brighter. Shape was same?
Shape, I did not identify.
No problem. Anyone else saw any cloud? No? Okay. Would anyone like to share? Yes, Jyoti ji, you raised your hand.
I saw the cloud and I drew, but suddenly its shape has changed.
It changed. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Let's come to our childhood instance. Would anyone like to share any childhood instance that you've written about? Yes, Rashida ji, go ahead.
Okay. It was in my childhood when I was very young. my aunt has said something about my father, and it's not that time I was very hurt and I cried a lot because I could not say anything. So I was feeling helpless. Okay, then it it still date, like sometimes it just comes pops out. How helpless I was feeling. I could not do anything.
Right. So how long did that helplessness last for?
It was a few hours. It did last. I cried out because I was a small kid that time. I cried out a lot and I was literally hiding because I didn't want any, I would not like anyone seeing me in tears. So but I cried out. I know that, remember it very clearly that I cried a lot because I could not take his stand.
Fair, fair, absolutely fair. Thank you for sharing something so personal. Anyone else would like to share any incident from their childhood? Yes, Aarti ji.
So, during my childhood, I used to express a lot of things with my mother, and they were always ignored. Any point of view, anything related to my career or to my decisions, they were always neglected or ignored. So, I felt very anger, uh, low self-esteem, and low self-confidence. I always struggled with these three things, and if you ask me, it lasted for at least 15 years with me to overcome and to accept that change. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Tanvi, for giving me this opportunity to express this. It was with me for quite some time, and I never had that courage to write it down in a piece of paper. So thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing something so personal. We'll come back to this. Rajashri ji and then Riddhi ji, and then we'll move on. Go ahead.
नमो नमः मैम। मैम बचपन में जैसे अभी कुछ भी इंसिडेंट, जैसे अभी मैम ने बोला था फादर कुछ बोल दिया तो बहुत बुरा लगा। उस टाइम पे मैं मुझे ना बहुत गुस्सा आता था। लेकिन वो कंट्रोल में हो जाता था और थोड़ी देर के बाद वो निकल जाता था। लेकिन अभी जब मैरिड होने के बाद ऐसे कुछ इंसिडेंट्स हुए हैं जब मैं को बहुत हेल्पलेस महसूस करती चीज में, बहुत ज्यादा वरीड हो जाती थी और गुस्सा भी आ जाता था। लेकिन वो हेल्पलेस जो था ना, वो बहुत बहुत ज्यादा एंजाइटी होता था मुझे, या फिर खुद को ऐसे लगता था कि हाँ अब छोड़ नहीं सकते हैं, अभी हम सुसाइड कर दे, ऐसे सब भावनाएं अभी आते थे। तो ये जो डिफरेंसेस है बचपन के और अभी के, इसमें बहुत ज्यादा है। बचपन में तो हम लोग वो चीजें तुरंत भूल जाते थे, बाद में अभी मैरिड होने के बाद जो भी हमें फेस करना पड़ता है, तभी ये हमारे दिल में सुसाइड की भावनाएं ये सब बहुत ज्यादा हो जाती है। लेकिन थैंक्स टू यू कि सब अभी योगा से वगैरह मुझे बहुत से फायदा हुआ है। ये सारी चीजें मैं कोशिश कर, अगर कुछ मेरे मन के जैसा या हेल्पलेस महसूस करती हूँ, तो फिर मेडिटेशन के बाद मैं काम डाउन हो जाती हूँ। थैंक्स टू यू मैम।
Not at all. Thank you for sharing something so personal. I think suicide is a very taboo topic, but I think since you're talking about it, thank you for sharing. I'm sure it's not easy. We'll come back to this. Riddhi ji and then Runmai ji.
Namo Namaha. So, in my childhood, in the year of 2000, in the 10th vacation, along with my mother, and there was one drawing sir who always taught me since 93. So, along with my mother, we were making Ganpati sculptures, and my mother was up to making, displaying 9,999, but they did not tell me that this will be all sold, and even I was making throughout the vacation. But when the media guys came, my mother said she made all of them by herself alone, and I found that unethical, and it almost meant that this is like a, after 24 years I feel like, and recently I've faced similar situations in a very famous Isha ashram, where I found a lot of crimes and scams taking place. So I felt this is just another experience that is happening at my place. And gradually, I studied cult psychology, and I feel extremely grateful that I am here uh, and learning authentic knowledge. And I thank you, ma'am, and Raksha, ma'am, for forcing me and telling me you are inquiring a lot and you are not registering. And I feel extremely grateful that I registered here. So, yes. And the feeling was of betrayal, even though, like, they are my parents throughout my life, adolescence, and till date, I feel like how can my own parents do this? If my own parents can do this, then what do I expect from any outsider?
Your feelings are very valid, and thank you for sharing. We'll come back to this. I think a lot of people want to share. We'll give everyone a chance. I think we can do that today if everyone has time. Mrunmay ji, and then Sunita ji, and then Sneha ji.
I want to share the incident that you asked. I remember one incident with my childhood friend. Uh, we played together for some time, and then it was a time to say bye bye. And I went near his home to drop him, and there was some date kind of thing, and we were talking in a very good terms, and suddenly he pushed me, and I fell down. Uh, and I still remember that feeling of shock, and he ran away. So feeling of anger and not acting on it. That was one incident which has remained for many years with me. That feeling of not maybe not giving back, and I still feel angry about it. So I don't know how many years since I remember since, so maybe 40 years or so. And there was an incident of suicide, as somebody mentioned. So even I had that feeling in another incident, but yes, I had forgotten that somebody mentioned about suicide. So I remembered that even I had a thought, but it was very silly reason at that time. So today I can laugh on that thought. But this particular incident has remained for a long time. And when you asked about the incident of recent past, surprisingly, I felt that I have same feelings and same feeling, uh, though the incidents are different. So it was a kind of big surprise for me about that. And thank you, whatever exercises you take, it really opens our minds and keeps us thinking and rethinking, and many times we are amazed by ourselves and our thoughts and feelings.
Thank you for sharing, and I think each one of you matter and matter a lot. You all are very important. It is very important to also speak and open up. A lot of times we keep things inside. It's not the best thing. And this is a platform where no one is going to judge anyone. So it is a safe space for everybody. So thank you for sharing. Sunita ji, and then Sneha ji.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for allowing me. I was one incident from my childhood. Uh, I had not some thing was broken or something, and I was blamed for it. And it was not me who had done it, and I could not tell her also that I have not done it, and I had to take the beating, and I felt uh, still I'm not able to forget that incident. I still remember it. And I have had actually very traumatized childhood, not able to open up. Actually, I'm not able to open up now also. Child
That's absolutely
molestation,
okay.
sort of, I had to face that when I was young. That is a one very big thing, and it has had a huge effect on my personality, on my education, on my relationship, everything. It has had a very bad. I later on read and I realized that when people have traumatized a childhood, uh, they are not able to become very confident. I could not learn when I used to go for my exams. I could not learn whatever I had learned. I used to learn a lot, study, study, study. But when I used to go and give my paper, I used to be totally blank. My question paper used to come and I used to be totally blank. I could not understand why I'm not. I have learned everything, and slowly, when I became big, more big, that time I realized that that was a very stressful period for me, and I could not face that stress. So everything used to go blank, and I could not give my exams. So in spite of studying, I could not reach. Maybe I did not reach whatever. That is one thing. And after marriage, also, I have faced many problems. So not insinuations, insinuations, being blamed for something which we have not done. Such things when they happen, though I have come out of it, I have done a yoga for the last 20 years. Maybe I'm doing yoga, maybe. So I have calmed down a lot and I have learned that I can't hold on to grudges because that will affect my personality only. I will not be having a peace of mind. So I have learned to
Absolutely.
let go. Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you for
Thank you for
sharing.
allowing me to tell.
I'm sure it's not easy. So
Absolutely.
thank you for sharing. Uh,
Yeah,
it takes a lot of courage.
absolutely.
Sneha ji, go ahead.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
हाँ एक्चुअली मेरी चाइल्डहुड में स्कूल टाइम पे आई ब्रोकन अ रूल लिखने का था और मैं कुछ अपने तरीके से लिख रही थी देन टीचर स्लैप मी तो इतना ज्यादा डर लगा था कि मतलब वो उसके बाद हमेशा लगता था कि हायर अथॉरिटी के सामने कुछ भी रूल ब्रेक नहीं कर सकते तो वो बहुत ही मतलब इतना फियर लगता था मुझे हमेशा कि कोई भी रूल ब्रेक नहीं कर सकते तो वो मुझे लाइफ लॉन्ग मैंने देखा कि बहुत सालों तक वो मुझे परेशान कर रहा था या अपने से कोई बड़े हैं एल्डर्स हैं या कोई हायर अथॉरिटी है तो उसके सामने बोल नहीं सकती थी मैं मतलब कुछ भी अपनी बात नहीं रख सकती थी एंड वन मोर इंसिडेंट विच इन्होंने जो सुनीता जी ने अभी शेयर किया आई वॉज ऑल्सो मोलेस्टेड बाय अ पर्सन एंड it was so much traumatic. I couldn't share that anyway to anyone. So उसके बाद से मुझे वो एक मेल पर्सनालिटीज के लिए भी एक वो हेट सी हो गई थी दिमाग में कि दे आर नॉट गुड पीपल तो इट टुक लॉट ऑफ टाइम मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस भी बहुत लो हो रहा था एंड देन एक बार मुझे चांस मिला साइकोलॉजी का वो काउंसलिंग कोर्स करने का तो मतलब उससे पहले मैं अपने आप को सप्रेस करती रहती लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं से मन था कि नहीं कुछ कैसे भी करके इससे बाहर निकलना है तो मैंने काउंसलिंग का कोर्स भी किया और उसके बाद मैं काफी कुछ अपनी पर्सनालिटी को चेंज कर पाई हूँ काफी मैं अपना कॉन्फिडेंस रेज भी कर पाई हूँ बट अभी भी मुझे कभी कभी ये चीजें ओवर पावर कर जाती हैं इन पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन तो अभी आपने जो ये एक्सरसाइज कराई तो फिर से वो सेम चीजें मेरे दिमाग में आई एंड आई थॉट कि वो अभी तक गई नहीं है ये चीज
That was not my point at all, so that you all recollect something traumatic. Sorry about that. Thank you for sharing, though. Um, there is one. Thank you. Thank you. This takes a lot of courage. Thank you for sharing, Aarti ji, Sunita ji, Rajeshri ji, Riddhi ji. So many of you all shared. there is one thing that we all understood at the end of it, right? What you felt then, do you have that exact same feeling at that exact same intensity at this point? No, right? Like Mrunmayji said, that time it felt so, uh, how she felt, she couldn't explain. It was such a big deal, and today she can laugh at it, right? Why? Some people drew a cloud. Just 2 minutes later, that cloud was totally different. Why? In simple terms, this too shall pass. Anitya Bhavna. Okay, if I want, the class can get over here, but I'll explain it further. But you get my gist? This too shall pass. Yes, what is in the morning is not in the afternoon. What is in the afternoon is what is not at night. What is at night is not in the morning, right? Nothing is constant, not even a mighty mountain. The same either, because, can everyone hear me? Yeah, because something can grow on the mountain, or there is earthquake, breaks down an entire mountain, or it's next to the ocean, slowly, little by little, soil keeps going away, or because of the tectonic plates and movement, the mountain keeps sinking, becomes shorter and shorter, right? In 1 year, you feel like nothing has changed, but when you see 10 years later, so much has changed, correct? Right? In that particular time, something might seem very big, but when you see it now, it may still be a big event, but you grow, you become better, right? You learn to cope, you learn to heal, correct? Which is why it is so important to heal. Because if you don't heal, you pass on the trauma, don't you? To your kids, and then they do to their kids, right? That is why they say break that generational trauma. For instance, if Snehaji said she can never speak to or go against authority, the minute the child says, "Oh, let me go and tell," she will say, "No, no, don't do that." Right? That's passing on trauma. Even it's small, it still matters. Every feeling matters. Everything you feel matters. More important to know, it will pass. Yes, that is called Anitya Bhavna. When we consider something permanent, yes, when we consider something is permanent, that's wrong. Why? Nothing is permanent. Are we permanent? No, right? Where you live, is that structure permanent? Maybe for the next 50 years. After that, we don't know, right? Growing up, we thought our parents were Superman, best mother, right? Is that also permanent? No, right? Correct? Nothing is permanent. The air you breathe, it goes in as one constitution, comes out as something else. Nothing is permanent, right? That is what we call a Nitya Bhavna. Okay? A lot of people said about incidences. I remember, and I'm going to share one of mine. Okay, I've always been the studious kind. This girl asked me, who's sitting next to me, she was talking, she asked me for something. So I replied, and the teacher turned and saw, and she saw that I was the one talking, but I was only helping. And she said, "Come here and stand." And I felt so bad, and I tried to explain, but I was only helping, but the teacher did not listen to me. And at that moment, I started crying because it felt such a big deal. And somewhere in that moment, I decided, if anyone ever speaks in my class, I will not punish them. If they're speaking, that means either they don't know, either they need help, they want to share. Okay, speaking is not wrong. So I always give everyone a chance to speak. Yes. Um, but also what had happened then does not affect me now. And that's okay. The other day, my niece, she had this snow globe. She just bought it, came home, dropped it. She cried for 4 hours. For us, that snow globe is like a piece of showpiece. It doesn't matter. Even if it's the most beautiful thing, will it matter to anyone here? We'll just say it's okay, we'll buy another one, or it's okay, it's not a big deal. But for her, it was her, I don't know, it was the best thing that had happened to her that entire year, right? So many things mean so much to different people, but we can't say this is not a big deal. It can be a very big deal to someone, right? So never dismiss feelings, never dismiss. Coming back to, so there is this saying, hurt people, but luckily, healed people heal others, safe people shelter others, free spirits free others, enlightened people illuminate others, and love always wins. So shine your light of love on all who may come across your path in life because what you do matters. Correct? Yes. Let's come to Anitya Bhavna. Okay. Anitya Bhavna. Okay. The word anitya in Sanskrit means impermanence, passing, or transient. We all know that things shift and change constantly. In a year's time, we will not look the same. Do you look the same as you did 5 years ago? Maybe I don't look the same as I did at the start of the course. We don't know. You know, it can be one fine line here or one extra white hair. Yeah. And for everybody, right? So, something some things seem to change slowly while others change very quickly. Correct? Our consciousness changes very quickly. Something that had impacted you back then, even now may impact you. But is the impact the same? Is the intensity the same? It changes. Right? Now you have more wisdom, more knowledge, more ways of dealing with it. Right? Even that changes. Now, you try and sit quietly just for a few minutes. The thought you had at the first minute versus the thought you have in the third minute, is it the same? Are you on the same topic for 3 minutes? Even that doesn't happen, right? Right? Do the happy times last? Imagine the happiest day of your life. Does it last even now? No. The bad doesn't last. Uh, the good also doesn't last. Being neutral, yes, that can keep going on, and there's constant wavering, right? Our body is also constantly changing. At any given moment, millions of cells die and others take their place. Very few cells exist in our body for more than 3 months. Every 3 months, you're a new person. Okay, remember that. If you're still holding on to something that had happened, let it go. You're a new person. Let it go. Yes, let it pass. If you constantly hold on to it, then it will remain. You let it go, it will go, right? It is not permanent, so don't mistake it for permanent. Yes, that is what is Vidya. Nitya Suchi Dukha Atmanasu Nitya Suchi Sukha Atmana Khyati Vidya. Mistaking the transient for the permanent, the impure for the pure, pain for pleasure, and that which is not self for the self. All this is called lack of knowledge, Vidya. Holding on to something, Vidya. Yes. Now, if we are fully aware, now everyone knows everything is impermanent, but do we still hold on to it? Right? We do, right? I do too. Everyone does, right? If we are fully aware of the constant change of all things, we wouldn't cling, and without gripping, we would not suffer. If you don't hold on to it, will you suffer? No, absolutely not. But our consciousness tends to attribute permanence and stability to things. Why does the inevitability and expected end of a pleasant experience cause unease, frustration, sorrow, and sometimes even despair? Even if it's a good incident, we know it is going to pass. But when it does pass, we act like, oh my God, why did it happen? We already knew it was going to happen, but we still can't process it, right? When we experience something unpleasant, bothersome, disturbing, painful, do we not think it will be so forever? Right? Imagine a time when you were in pain. You thought, oh my God, I can never come out of this. Did we? You emerged stronger? Yes. If you've lived today to tell the tale, you have emerged stronger. Yes. So, if we really deeply are aware of the transience of all things, we would not have been so deeply bothered by unpleasant experiences, knowing they too shall pass. One of the miraculous powers of a yogi, according to Patanjali, is the ability to see change as it unfolds. This is truly extraordinary, right? You see how you have transformed, you see how you're getting better, you see how you're not feeling the same pain. If someone said the same thing today, you think, okay, it's fine. This person is in a bad mood. I'm not going to take it too hard. This I will ignore. Here and out, right? Maybe as a child, you didn't know how to process it, how to deal with it, right? There was an exercise done where we gave kids some grains and told them, make a painting with this grain. So they would arrange. Then there was a person called. That person came and wiped everyone's painting. They've made for half an hour. Every kid started crying. But at the start of the exercise, we had told them, this will not last. They said, okay. They made the painting. It was erased. And then we asked them, but we already told you it's not going to last. Why are you crying? They couldn't explain. It's just sometimes you put effort. You already know it's going to happen. It still hurts. Very normal, right? It's very normal, isn't it? Even when someone's unwell or if someone's very old, they pass away, it hurts. You can't say, oh, they're old, of course, they'll die. No, it still hurts, right? There's so much attachment. There is so much, you still don't expect it. You know it's going to happen, but you still don't expect it. You still think there's more time, right? If you forgive someone, that person does something again, right? You still think, okay, next time they won't do it. And they do it again. Somewhere deep down, you knew they would repeat it. But you were the one who expected, right? Let it go. Let it pass. Yes. Now, how can we foster such an ability? How can we behold changes as they constantly unfold? This requires observation, drawing our attention to Anitya, the impermanence of all things. Practicing yoga is a great opportunity to do that. Anyone who practices regularly knows that no two practices are alike. If you did, say, Hastapadasana today versus when you must have done 3 years ago, is it the same? There is a change. Even if you do it today and if you've done it yesterday, they may still not be the same. Why? Today you may have done it on empty stomach, or yesterday your body was already warmed up. Today you've not warmed up, right? Even though you're the same person, even though the gap is just of barely 24 hours, same asana, it can still be very different. You can still make you feel very different, right? Observe not just yourself, observe the surrounding. Expectations lowered. You can expect from yourself. You can improve yourself. But holding that feeling for someone else that they should improve, I don't think that works out, right? Because you'll get disappointed. You work on yourself. You know this too shall pass, right? Now, okay, let's do one short practice. Yes, how to actually practice Nitya Bhavna. This too shall pass. Yes, change is the only constant. How do we practice it? Everybody close your eyes, head, neck, spine on straight line. Think of any small thing that you have held on to. Something small. Like my niece, she broke her snow globe. Or your phone got stolen. You were very hurt about it. Or anything small. Just think about it. Understand the gravity of it. It was a big deal. Fine. Is it still a big deal? Try and make yourself understand. Why is it not a big deal? Maybe in that moment you lost contacts, but now you've got them back. You may have lost some pictures, but now you've clicked new ones, made new memories. Is it still a big deal? Do you still feel the same pain? No. Deep inhalation. Exhaling, let your hands up in the air. Let it go. Exhale. Release. Deep exhalation. Release. Let go. Gently hands down. Feel your shoulders become lighter and lighter and relax. Slowly open your eyes. Okay. If we pay attention to all the changes, we will cultivate the ability and the sensitivity to really witness Anitya, the transience of all phenomena. Okay, everything is impermanent. Then we won't hold on to anything and live with great freedom. Yes, with freedom comes joy. With freedom comes openness. Does everyone wish to have freedom? Freedom from your own emotions, from your own pain? Who has inflicted that pain? Who is holding on to that pain? Are you holding on to it? Are you holding on to whatever emotions you're feeling? So who will let it go? You have to let it go. Okay, if you want, you can write down things that you do not like, things you do not, that you felt hurt. Slowly, one by one, every day, work on them. Done? Tick. Go to the next. When you let it go, truly let it go. Don't come back to it. Yes, learn the lessons, of course, but the incident, let it go. That feeling, let it go. Yes? Any questions? Yes, Rajeshri ji, go ahead.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम। अभी आपने बोला कि जो भी है इमोशंस आपके, लेट देम गो। बट बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि हम जो भी सोचते हैं वैसे कर नहीं पाते, ना भी नहीं ये बात पे मैं सोचूंगी नहीं, इसको छोड़ दूंगी छोड़ दूंगी छोड़ दूंगी। बट जैसे ही वो सिचुएशन सामने आ जाता है, फिर वही एंगर, वही वही सब आ जाते हैं थॉट्स में। मैं अभी
I'll
इतने
stop
साल
you right there. I agree. When it happens the first time, you are taken by shock or that emotion overwhelms you. Okay, when it happens the second time, if you have the same reaction, that means you have not processed it the first time. You have not learned how to deal with it the first time. Okay, and I'm not saying it won't happen the second time and third time and fourth time. It might happen. But each time you have to get better at dealing with it. Right? We can't blame the external circumstances. Of course, they may be wrong and you may be completely right, but you got to deal with it. Right? Like, for instance, I've left the door open, I'm taking a class, and someone just walks in and starts speaking. So I'll say, what are you doing? I'm taking a class. Can you not see? Get out. Second day, same thing happens. Should I have the same reaction? No. I should have enough thought process to have shut the door and locked it. Right? Third day, I've shut it, locked it, someone starts knocking. Okay, then again, this happens. Fourth time, I'm going to put a sign, do not disturb, class in progress. Right? And inform anyone who may be in the house, do not enter. Right? You have to actively take precautions. You have to actively take steps to protect your peace, protect yourself, right? Create systems. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Bhakti ji.
So, ma'am, I think that the reason we hold on to feelings so much is because it was so important and so big for us back then. But then,
Absolutely correct.
yeah, so then, it still means something to me if I'm holding on to it. I think the way we process it is, what does it still mean something about me right now? What is it saying about me? What am I thinking about myself? Because that's the part I think where we're really holding on to it, where what is it about me that's attached to that particular thing that I'm still holding on to? Does that make sense?
It does. It makes absolute sense. For example, in your childhood, someone said, "Hey, you are not at all good at say something. The next time you sit and do that thing, that'll play in your head because one, it affected you back then. Two, you're repeating the same activity, right? So immediate connection happens. What you have to do in that case is do that activity, see how good it is, see if you did anything wrong, see how you can improve. Okay, not to prove that other person wrong, but to know that what everyone says is not true. Um, if you tell me something, if you give me or like dive deeper into it, maybe I'll be able to explain a little more in terms of what you are saying.
No, I was just making an observation in terms of what I heard from everybody. So that's
Right.
just it.
Yeah, okay, fine. Taking that into consideration, very, very, very true that incidences from your childhood actually do mold you. Because why? Because children are very moldable. Their
Yeah.
brains, the sense of being, everything is very moldable. They'll believe anything you tell them. Right? For the longest time, my dad told me, I am Superman. Don't be scared of anything. Dad can solve anything. For the longest time, I thought, okay, he can solve anything. I don't have to be scared of anything. Okay. And later on, when he broke his shoulder, I was like, but how is that possible? Nothing can happen to you, you know? So it's like little things matter. But the lesson is what you take from it. No, you take that confidence. So similarly, negative experiences can also have the same effect. If someone has said something or done something, it lasts, it shapes
Ma'am, we can't hear.
us. Oh, um,
Ma'am, it was fine now. The voice was not coming in between. Can you just repeat what you said?
can okay. So, my point was, now there are positive instances like this, like with me, with my father, but there are also negative ones for people. Like if someone has said something or done something, it can also have a lasting effect on your personality, right? But if you have to take into consideration now in this moment, is that incident, has it gone? Yes. That person gone, or is it still the same kind of person? No, people also change, right? Maybe not for good, but still not the same. Is that relation or that um, feeling still the same for you? No. So then why are you holding on to your own drama? It is your job and your duty to slowly uh, heal yourself. Because who else is going to do it for you? No one will actually understand you the way you understand yourself. No one will know your feelings the way you understand your own feeling, right? So whose job is it to heal? It's your job, unless you want to stay stuck, right? Does that make sense? Right.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Very well said. Thank you.
Thank you. Krina ji and then Mumbai ji, go ahead.
Okay, hi. So, what I think people hold on to any negative feelings or trauma or anything is that because it has been with them for so long that it becomes part of their identity. They don't know who they will become if they let go of it. Also, sometimes there is this that someone else should validate that, okay, you have gone through so much and you are a better person today. Sometimes there is also this feeling of wanting to be validated by someone else, and the stress has been with them for so long that they feel incomplete without that. So
Yeah, I
it's
think it's a very conscious process to want to heal, and the process of healing itself also,
exactly.
right? It is very easy to say, okay, no, I want to feel better, but like then you don't do anything about it, it's not gonna happen. And then you say, but I want to feel better, I want to let it go, it's not happening. But that's because you're not working on it, right?
Yes. And because the
Uh,
journey of growth is not easy, that trauma is going to come up again and again, again and again, and you have
Absolutely true. It
to
is not
step on
easy
it that
at
no, I don't
all.
need it anymore.
It
Yeah,
is not easy at all, that I can agree with. But that's where you have to believe in yourself, that you are stronger than all of it, right?
exactly.
You are the only person who has been with yourself since your birth, right? You know yourself more than anyone else. So if you still want others to tell you how you feel, or you need that validation, we need to stop that. We need to understand no. In fact, I'll tell you this I have never shared with anyone, but anyway, here it is since the topic's here. Uh, oh, I think I was very young. I was on waiting in a queue in the garden to go on the slide, and this boy came and pushed me. I didn't even know it was a garden, and I said, "I'm waiting." He said, "No, you're so ugly. You cannot wait here." I felt so bad. I went running to my mom. I said, "Mama, I'm ugly." And she said, "No, absolutely not. Why do you say that?" And I told her what the boy told me. I said, "No, I tell you 10 times you're so beautiful. Why one person has to come tell you you're ugly and you believe it? Who do you have to believe?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "More than me and that person, you have to believe in yourself. You think you are." I said, "No." She said, "Look at your hair. You have two hands, two legs, and pretty eyes." So then I said, "Yeah, you're right." So always ask yourself, believe in yourself, right? And then that stayed with me forever. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Mrunmayji, go ahead.
Yeah, this thing of holding on, it happens many a times, and many a times you are successful leaving that. But certain things are, getting again popped up. Like for some time, you consciously decide, okay, I'm going to let this go, and it happens for a few days, and again, someday it pops up, and again, you go into that zone. So, is there a new process, or it is a continuous process? And especially uh, for a person very near to me, my mother, I want her to uh, get away, or I want her to, let go many things. And she's not in that zone. But when I consider myself, I'm consciously doing it. But sometimes, um, in certain incidences, I again tend to come back to it, come back to those negative feelings. So, what to do?
Okay, so one, it is a constant process and it is a long one. Okay, let me tell you that. So it's not going to be easy. Two, it makes it even harder when, suppose, say, one incident happens, you correct it and then you learn from it. It's a whole different thing when you have to deal with that same person who has caused something to you every single day, right?
Yeah.
So, in that case, it's very different because that person is not going to change. It is your intention and it is your feeling of wanting to change, wanting to improve the situation. So, what you have to do is predict. Okay, that is one thing. You already know that person is like this, correct? You already have now information. The first time it happens, I agree. You have no information, it ambushed you. But now you know how the person is. You know what you felt. You know how they behaved after, during, before. The second time it happens, have a system in place. Okay, At least I will not react this, I will react this way. Third time it happens, you're already expecting it. Expect that it'll happen. This time, you be one step further till you're already above. You know it's gonna happen and you've already dealt with it. Right? It's all up to you. Like I said, lock the door. Next time, put a
Yeah.
sign. Next time, inform each and everyone, do not knock because this is there. Next time, you know, but they always need this one particular thing that is in the room. Already keep it out. Right? You try and minimize the possibility of them wanting to come into the room. Right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Riddhi ji, go ahead.
Ma'am, so since childhood, because we are taught to respect elders, I have been respectful, and this never hampered me. And I have been tolerating this at home. So outside, there has been molestation, there has been everything else, and I have not taken any action. And hence, I do not know how to operate in the corporate, so I did not take a corporate job. And everyone at home uh, teach me to correct myself rather than looking into themselves where they need to be ethical. And not only for me, but for the society, because when they say to the society that only I made them all by myself and things, so it's not truth taking place for the society and the world. So lately I have discovered that I need to open up and I need to tell them that this is not right, and you've been willing that I correct myself through various sadhanas and whatnot. I've done like 55 days of silence and whatnot, been to many ashrams and through many modalities, thinking that something is wrong with me. But I discovered that core, the day when I had to open my mouth to the media that this is a false statement, irrespective of how much I respect anybody. I needed to respect myself. So, looking at everything that took place over so many years, in my health also, like I went through hormonal problems and testosterone disorders and autoimmune stuff and all. So I lately discovered that justice and opening up has been also very important. Uh, Other than me being processing everything by myself and trying to fight within, that why am I getting hatred or why am I feeling betrayed? I felt there has been a growth where I had opened up against and not tolerated everything that's taking place. So I read up some harassment policies, and I actually, instead of retaliating, I mentioned the clauses of the policy at home and even outside. And that particularly helped a lot. I mean,
So, that is a very correct thing that you do. You did. One, get the system on your side. One, you know you're definitely right. You know there are laws that are backing you up, right? So instead of saying, oh, I'm so helpless, no. Get your evidence, record, see things, state it. Second, speak out, okay? Which is also the correct thing to do. Also, you need to know where to speak out. Like, for instance, if you bang your car or someone bangs into you and you start shouting at them, you don't know that person. You don't know if they'll get violent, right? Best thing to note down the plate, name plate, number plate, take a picture, go to the cops, right? Instead of then arguing with them because you don't know their state of mind, right? So it is better to be systematic about it. Another thing, a lot of times, and most times, and I don't know if it's just an Indian thing or in general, But people mistake respecting someone with obedience. Being obedient is different. Respect is different, right? It is very different. Respect has to be for the kids also. Like, I do not understand parents who hit their children. But they're not listening. In old age, has your mother or father not listened to you even though you know they're wrong? Did you go and slap them? No. So then why are you slapping that child? And that child does not even have the mental capacity to understand as much. The child has not seen the world enough. The child only thought this was correct and did it. The child does not have a proper system in place, right? So it's not okay for the adult to hit the child. So every person, every animal has to be respected, correct? So that is respect. What people confuse it with is obedience. Obedience, I said do this, do it. But that is because of obedience or command. It does not come out of respect. That is very different, right? So, and not every elder deserves respect per se, right? If there's an elder who comes, starts hitting everyone, switches on the TV, puts it on loud while you are in your class or studying, right? That's not the correct thing to do. And then that same person expects respect. That's not going to happen. Will you be able to respect that person? No, right? But that person says, "Get me water." Will you get it out of respect or because you're being obedient? So you need to understand there's a difference between respect and obedience, right? So you don't have to respect everybody. You have to be respectful towards people in general, but you don't have to be obedient, right? You don't have to listen to everybody. No, you don't have to be obedient. Uh, you have to have systems in place. You have to, when you already know something's happening, have a system in place, have your evidence in place, be able to speak up. If you're not able to write it down or tell someone to help you out, right? Go to the correct authority, correct channel, right? There's process. Just look deeper into it. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Rashida ji and then Sarika ji.
I just wanted to share what Riddhi and share. So I just wanted to, like, for me also, like, there are a lot of things happening. Okay, I was being taken for granted, mainly in my house because my mother just left 1.5 years back, and like she was a kid to me. Um, I rather I could do out of my way, not thinking of myself, because my bhabhi has lost a sister. So I used to always think how that pain is when you lose your parents, how you feel when you lose your loved one. And I used to go out of my way for which I was taken for granted. I went through, like as Riddhi said, like too many of things she has gone through. Even I had to go through a lot of things. Went through counseling. I was in a total guilt that because I was not able to give in so much to my mother. I was not able to take care. And like there was a process by which I was very well taken out of guilt. The thing, it is like at the end of that session, I was being told every time first, whenever is there, ask what is Rashida wanting? Ask yourself first, and it really, like I now it is things have been, like I was just saying, no one is doing anything for me. Ghar pe is I mean, I have to work outside. I'm doing all the housework also, and there's no appreciation at all. So it's that thing, and at the end, like universe is taking care of me. And I, if I'm seeing in this last few months, I'm seeing a lot of change in myself. It was like if I say there would be like utensils, like I catch cold immediately if I'm doing a lot of water work. And I had literally, it was a mistake, like that knife went right in my palm, and there was a very heavy bleeding that now also I cannot use my left hand. It really pains even if I put water over it. This is just 15 days back. And I was continuously saying, like we need a maid to wash utensils. I can't, I'm not able to do it. It was not happening. But I would always say, universe took care of me because I hurt my hand. That's why now there is a maid who is cleaning the vessel. So even like, and things, like it's becoming, I'm seeing that change. So even when you are in that surrender fullness, things are coming the positive way. I don't know whether Riddhi is getting her answer and I'm able to connect what I'm trying to say.
You are.
So many times, many times, like I always went out of my way because I wanted my Bhabhi not to miss her sister. So I was trying to take her sister's place so that she doesn't miss her. Where was I in that place? If I start thinking I am nowhere and I have not been respected for whatever I'm doing. So at times, like we have to even give a priority to our own self. What am I wanting?
Absolutely. What first you take care of yourself, your needs, only then will you be able to take care of others, right? We often hear this. If the mother is unwell, will she be able to nurse the child? Will she be able to take care of the baby? No. She needs to take care of herself to be able to take care of the baby, right? Now, if I'm a teacher, I'm unwell at this point, okay? For instance, I'm coughing and I'm just doing this and I'm not properly explaining. Am I doing justice to y'all? No, correct? If I'm not taking care of myself, will I be able to teach y'all? No. I need to be happy. I need to heal. I need to learn so that I can teach. Yes? You take care of yourself only then and then. And a lot of times people will say, can you do this to me? And you can always say, yes, once I finish this, I will help you out. Once once this is done and I have the mental space, I will definitely help out. If you already don't have the mental space, you can always say, I will not be able to do it today. Why? Is there anyone else that can help you out? Or can we do this on so and so date? Right? You look at your convenience, then say it, right? Yeah, there are many ways, and you don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to be bad about it. You can be polite, right? And respectful. So we hope your hand heals. I'm wishing you a speedy recovery. Sarika ji.
यस मैम सो चाइल्डहुड से मैं थोड़ी कम बात करने वाली थी सो जल्दी से कुछ तकलीफ है या कुछ भी हो जो मन में है वो ओपन अप नहीं होती थी सो इवेंचुअली थोड़ा सा कम हुआ बट स्टिल ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं मैं जो करना चाहती हूँ बट ड्यू टू सम सरकमस्टेंसेस और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज जॉब घर उसकी वजह से वो कर नहीं पाती हूँ और मैं सपोज मैं डिसाइड करूँ कि मतलब करना है तो सेम टाइम पे मुझे घर पे थोड़ा सा ध्यान कम देना पड़ेगा या जॉब कॉम्प्रोमाइज करना पड़ेगा सो मैं दोनों कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करती हूँ जो मेरी मन की भावना है उनको ही कॉम्प्रोमाइज करती हूँ सो ऐसे दिन ब दिन आगे बढ़ता है और पीछे मुड़ के देखती हूँ तो ये करना था टाइम वेस्ट गया मैं नहीं कर पाई तो उससे इरिटेशन बढ़ता है कि फिर ब्लेम करते हैं कि इनकी वजह से नहीं इनकी वजह से नहीं वो इरिटेशन बढ़ता है फिर लोगों को ब्लेम करना स्टार्ट हो जाता है और वो साइकिल रिपीट होता है और कुछ टाइम करने भी जाओ तो निगेटिव वे से करने जाती हूँ फिर दूसरों को बोलती हूँ कि नहीं मुझे करना है मैं सब छोड़ दूंगी कर दूंगी तो निगेटिव भावना से जाते तो ये स्मूथली करने के लिए अनित्य भावना कैसे हेल्प करेगी
So firstly, you have
सपोज
decided, no, one
या
minute,
एक
you have
एग्जांपल
decided, I will do this. You have decided, okay, no, it's okay, I can let go of this. And then you're not realizing you are building resentment. But no one told you you have to do this. You leave this behind and do it. If you're not able to, you can say, I need help with this. I am not able to do it. Right? Or I'm not able to do it. Is everyone okay giving this up? Right? Instead of only you doing it. because you think it's your responsibility, you keep on taking responsibility, leave behind things that are dear to you, and then you build resentment in your own head, and then you get frustrated, right? For example, if say my sister comes home, and because she's married and she lives abroad, so when she comes, I'll say, oh, she's here, let me give her my room. Okay, she's here, chalo, let me give her my clothes. She's here, chalo, let me help her with this. She's here, let me give her the car and driver. Okay, after 4 days, I'll think, "Arey, I also need to go. Why didn't she offer the car to me? But did she ask for the car? No. Did she ask
No.
for the room? No. She asked for the clothes? No. Did I tell her कि when I may need it on this day, will you give it to me? No.
Mm.
Did I tell her कि when you don't need, you let me know, so I know it's free, I can also use the car? No. In my own head, I kept thinking, oh, I'm sacrificing, I'm giving, the other person's not. But I have to make it clear. I have to also set boundaries, right? Also, none of that happened, but still, it's just an example,
So
right?
that courage, how to build, ma'am, means that courage is not there. So, so means what helps to build that
Different
courage?
that the whole different topic, and that is nothing to do with this too shall pass, but that is about building boundaries. Yes,
Okay.
it is very important to have boundaries with every single person. Okay, for example, if you've just gotten married, gone to a house, and you know, first day you put all the plates on the table and you keep all the food. Second day you do it. Third day you're just sitting watching TV, and people think, "Arey, why didn't you?" But firstly, it was not your job. You still did it. No one told you to. But now there's expectation,
But they
right?
expect it's our job.
Exactly, but it's not your job, right? So
Yes.
first day you put it. Say, I'm happy to help when required, right? But it's not your job. You have to make that very clear, right?
Yeah.
You have to
So
set boundaries.
that thinking itself, and I need to start, and then it will come into action. Okay.
Absolutely. You need to see where to draw the line, where to draw the boundary, how to communicate it. And there's no
Okay.
need to be rude about it, bad about it. You can be very nice about it.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes I have guilty bhavna in my mind that I'm not able to do and I'm not able to
Very
help them.
common, very
Yeah.
common.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
so many mothers feel so guilty. "Arey, I'm just
Okay.
resting today." But it's okay. You're a human. Everyone rests. It's okay. You should also rest.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to oh, Abaj, you've raised your hand. Go ahead, last one, and then we'll end the session.
मैम बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस का जवाब मुझे लोगों से मिल गया जो मेरे थे,
Okay.
बट जैसे जिस सिचुएशन की वजह से मैं डिप्रेस्ड हुई, जिन लोगों की वजह से मुझे लगता है कि मतलब तो उसको अवॉइड कैसे करें, जैसे फिर वहां अगर जाना हुआ उस जगह पे या उन लोगों से मिलना हुआ तो वो तो सेम वैसा ही मतलब ट्रॉमा क्रिएट करते रहते हैं, और फिर से मैं मतलब जो 4-5 सालों में थोड़ा हील हुई हूँ वो दोबारा वैसा ही हो जाए तो
See, people will not change. Maybe the
हमें
situation will also not change. What has to change? You have to change. Now, the first time something may have happened, you may have responded or reacted a certain way. Second time you go, you know this is going to happen. You already abstain from a conversation. If that conversation starts, say, I don't want to feel this way, so I will abstain, or I don't want to hurt anybody, so I'm going to sit aside, or this is what I think, but you all continue, move away, right? The good thing is you already have experience on your side. You already have experienced it. So if you let the same thing happen again, then somewhere it's your fault too. Okay.
तो मैम कंप्लीटली उस चीज को अवॉइड नहीं कर सकते कि उस सिचुएशन से दूर भाग जाएं या उन लोगों से अपने आप को अवे कर लें.
No, no. Never run away, because if you run away, it'll always catch you. Right? That's a simple rule. What you have to do, someone said, commented, be assertive. Absolutely. Be assertive. Draw a boundary, make it clear, be assertive. For example, every time, suppose you and I meet, okay, something happens. So this time when I meet, from before, I will say, see, this topic comes up. I don't want to discuss because it hurts me. Right?
Yeah.
Or this topic comes up, every time I feel like I end up hurting you, let's not discuss. You've put it out there, right?
एंड मैम अगर हम किसी को शेयर करें जो मेरा बहुत क्लोज है कि मेरे साथ ऐसा ऐसा हुआ, मतलब वो मेरी बिल्कुल जेन्युइन मुझे लगता है कि हाँ ऐसा हुआ, बट वो ट्रस्ट ना करे, तो मैं बहुत हर्ट हो जाती हूँ कि लाइक ये ऐसा तो मेरे साथ हुआ है और मैं सच बोल रही हूँ कि नहीं तुम्हें ऐसा लगा होगा, ये सच नहीं है, बट वो रिपीटेटिव वही वही बिहेव झूठ नहीं हो सकता, बट अगर कोई ट्रस्ट ना करे तो उससे हर्ट कैसे ना हो, मतलब उसको शेयर करना छोड़ दे या
That is up to them to whether to trust you or not. That's up to them. You cannot change that, even though you're the most genuine person ever. Okay. That's up to them, and you cannot hold them, Kerry. You have to trust me. I
या
can't
जस्ट
come here and say, you guys have to listen to me. Okay. No, I will put my point across. I will explain. I will give you scientific reasons. After that, it is up to you all how much you all absorb, how much you all note down, how much you all practice. Because after this class, a lot of people will shut the laptop and done for the day. Some people may actually take the time to write down what has hurt them, see how they can heal, try and understand the problem, right? So I've said the same thing to 50 people. 10 may do it, 10 may completely ignore, right? So, I mean, you can't control others. What you can control is it's okay. You don't want to believe, no problem.
okay.
That's up to you, right? That is, someone also
एंड
commented.
वन मोर प्लीज, लाइक चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा की वजह से अगर इमोशनली कोई वीक हो गया हो, जैसे मैं बहुत इमोशनली वीक हूँ, कुछ ऐसे इंसिडेंट्स हुए, तो उसको स्ट्रॉन्ग कैसे कर सके अपने आप को, और लाइक मुझे लगता था कि मैं एंटी सोशल हो गई हूँ, पेरेंट्स के झगड़े या मुझे मतलब वो बहुत ओवर एम्बिशियस थे, मैं सिंगल चाइल्ड थी तो लेके तो पढ़ाते वक्त मुझे मार देना और ऐसे, तो मैं उन सब चीजों से बहुत हर्ट हो जाती थी, बहुत हेल्पलेस सा फील करती थी, तो उस समय उन सब चीजों से मुझे लगता है कि मैं बहुत इमोशनली वीक हो गई हूँ, लो कॉन्फिडेंट हो गई, तो उन सब चीजों का असर अभी भी मेरे ऊपर है।
I agree, it can last. These things have a very lasting effect, and they can crop up in different things, that emotion, where you feel it is not even applicable. It's not even with that person, it is a whole different person, but that emotion still arises, right? Which is absolutely fair. I understand your point. What you have to do first is understand it is the past. Second, is the same person doing it or completely different? Right? Third, is it the same incident, same feeling? Right? Start differentiating. Okay, because if you take that feeling and put it in every incident, you'll have that feeling. Know that, okay, no, this is something different. It's okay. I don't have to get this involved here. Then slowly try and heal that wound, right? And they also say, right, you cannot heal where in the same place that you were hurt, right?
Yes.
If this is a knife, I cannot keep going here and sleeping. It hurt me first time. No, but I'm wanting to sleep. I'm being peaceful, and again it will hurt. I have to understand this is a knife. I cannot do it. I have to stay away, let this heal, and then not come back here. That is a lesson you have to take, right?
जैसा आपने कहा, जिससे हम उसे आगे ट्रांसफर ना करें, लाइक अपने किड्स में वो फीलिंग्स,
Absolutely.
तो उसके लिए
Absolutely.
अपने आप को हील करना बहुत जरूरी है। थैंक यू सो
Absolutely
मच
correct.
मैम।
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for opening up.
1
Yes,
second,
Rakshana. Yes,
Tanvi,
yes. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to say one thing. Abha and everybody, sorry for the disturbance. I can't help it. That with all these bhavanas, Rishi Patanjali has given us asana and pranayam also, right? It is not either or, correct? It is all these bhavnas which will help us to come out of emotional traumas. So if we are doing asana and pranayama, with the help of asana and pranayama, we will become balanced or not? Only physically or mentally also? Emotionally also? That's what we did in different dimensions. Correct? Right? So when we are doing that, and with this, very beautifully, first of all, Tanvi, congratulations, you did well. Okay. So with that, if you are regularly doing asanas, it will give you confidence. Backward bending asanas, we have spoken about it. Correct? We have spoken about it. If you are doing backward bending asanas, etc., in practical class also, it will definitely build up your confidence. It will definitely build up your capacity to face the situation, to remain calm, to think about before responding. So your response will be response. It will not be reaction. Correct? So always these are the things these are like add-ons, and these are very subtle aspects which will help us to know us, that where I am hurt, work on it, make ourselves better, make ourselves very well weaponed, or very well trained, so that when that bombardment comes, that googly balls comes, we can manage with that, right? Yes. If we will think from this point of view, we will come to know that yoga is given us overall program which will help us to be the best, to be at Samadhi Avastha. Samadhi Avastha, we don't have to think from that higher point of view, right? What is Samadhi Avastha? Not having unnecessary tensions, worries, disturbances of mind. Vrittis are that only, right? Disturbance of mind. So to come out of all the disturbance, right? Anyway, continue, Tanvi. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. And I will just
Thank you,
bring it to a
ma'am.
close. Like she said, there is not just one method. Asana, pranayam, Ishwar Pranidhan. Okay, there is Vairagya, there is Aishwarya Bhav. You know how to build confidence. There are tools that have been given to you. Put them to use. Put your mind to use. Yeah. Spend time healing yourself so that you don't pass on the trauma to others. Yes, spend time doing it. Don't just keep feeling bad for yourself. This happened to me. No, it happened to you, and apologies for that. And everyone feels bad, but you have to do something about it, and know that this too shall pass. Anitya Bhavna. Nothing lasts forever. Yes, yes. Thank you, everyone. All those who shared, and wishing a very healing journey and lots of love to everybody. Thank you, everyone. Namaste, Namo Namaha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you, ma'am. Namo Namaha.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Namo Namah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Namo Namah.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.